we've taken a look at the normal LDK. Well, let's take a look at the landscape version of the LDK. Yeah, we are a little bit behind on this one, but nevertheless, let's take a look. Okay, so here we are taking a look at the landscape version of the LDK game console. Now, when this came out, a lot of people were saying that this one is less powerful than the vertical orientated version or the portrait mode version. Well, I've had a bit of a go at this, and I don't think it is any less powerful than the regular LDK. Let's take a look. Okay, so first of all, as always, we're going to take a look around the box. We've got some diagrams on that side, some information on this side, a list of stuff we get in the box, and on the bottom, absolutely nothing. So let's open it up and see what we get. So we got the console itself, and inside the bottom of the box, we've got various goodies. We have an HDMI micro USB cable, a micro USB cable, and the analog video out, but at least it's got stereo sound. So we'll connect that up to the TV and see how good the picture quality is. And here's the console itself. Now let's take a look at this. Now, as you can see, it is quite a nice little compact unit. It's upside down. Here we go. The screen is plastic on this one, not a glass screen, but don't let that put you off because it is fairly nice. We have the little thumb knob down here, typical of these type of things, reasonable D-pad, and some buttons here. Everything feels pretty well made. On the top of the unit, we got the L and R trigger buttons, the USB in, we can also use this to charge the battery as well as transfer data, the TV out, which also doubles up as a headphone socket. On the side, we've got two buttons here for brightness and select, and on the back, we actually have real stereo speakers. Oh yeah, true stereo on this device. This side we've got the volume, and we have an on and off switch, and on the bottom we got the micro SD card slot. Okay, so let's power on the machine. Here we go. Now this machine has an IPS screen and it does run at 60 Hz, so we do get the proper 60 frames per second on games that support it. As with all these machines, it runs a variation of the Dingo OS. Now, this particular unit came absolutely jam-packed full of games, but unfortunately all the ROMs are written in Chinese. So let's get a little bit closer up to the screen so you can see what's on it. That's better, nice and close to the screen. Now, as you can see, it's got all the usual emulators on here that you expect to find on one of these devices. Got Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Famicom, Super Famicom, oops, screen timed out there, Game Gear, Master System, Mega Drive, PC Engine, PlayStation, Arcade, that's Final Burn Alpha, Arcade, DOSBox, more Final Burn Alpha, Neo Geo Pocket, One, and Game Boy Advance, another Game Boy Advance emulator there. Now, all these are built into the machine when you buy it, and this particular model had all the ROMs already built into it. That's right, including PlayStation. So as you can see, we've got 3 PlayStation games already built into this. Unfortunately, all the titles of all the ROMs are in Chinese. But don't let that put you off, because you can put your own ROMs onto this machine in English. Now, this is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and it's kind of a weird one because it starts off on this sound test. I'm sure this must be a cheat or a hacked ROM or something, but I've never seen this. If you press start, it actually loads into the game. Now, because this is an emulator device, all the games can use save states, as you can see right here. So if I press start and select together, we get the menu, and I can load the save states that I did previously. Here we go. And there you go, straight into the save state. No problems whatsoever. Now, you maybe remember that when the RS-97 first came out, this game did run on it, but it was skipping frames really badly. Same on the BitBoy too. But on the LDK, it works really, really well. Plus, with the stereo speakers on this machine, it sounds better too. Now you may also remember that on the RS-97, on this section the text was all messed up, but on this version it's still messed up. And it's actually been translated from Japanese into Chinese, so maybe that's why it's messed up. But it seems to be drawing the text correctly, whereas on the RS-97 and the BitBoy it didn't draw the text properly. Oh, it's Dino Crisis. This is going to be interesting to see if it plays this well. Maybe not. It doesn't seem to be playing this very well. Bit flickery there.
Not exactly the red carpet treatment. There's no response.
Alright. Oh, good old tank controls. Here we go. Here we go. It seems to be working this part just fine. Just the cutscene was a bit weird. Alright, got to find something. I have never played Dino Crisis in my life. And playing it from this far away from the screen, because I'm behind the camera, is very difficult. I can't see what's going on. Jeez, tank control certainly take a while to get back into. Alright, this emulator doesn't seem to like the cutscenes, does it? But the actual gameplay scenes are fine. Okay, let's see what the other PlayStation game was. Oh, it's Parasite Eve. Okay, well I don't think I'll be playing this one much. Let's just see if we can get it to load up. And this one has been changed into Chinese as well. So it's a hacked version. But as mentioned, you can put other PlayStation games onto a micro SD card, or you can just pre-install them onto this device that has quite a bit of memory in there. Okay, so as we can see, PlayStation seems to be working fairly reasonably. Okay, let's take a look at some other machines that may not work all that well. Super Nintendo usually has a bit of an issue, so let's take a look at a random game. No idea what we're going to pick, because they're all in Chinese. Okay, FZero, let's take a look at this. Normally this one has a bit of an issue with frame rates on these emulation devices. Let's see if it works. It's slightly better than what these things usually run Super Nintendo games like, but yeah, that's still not super smooth, is it? Well, that's not too bad. Alright, let's see it shift around something in a 2D platformer style. This is Vending Ranges. Alright, again, this is not running perfectly. These devices always seem to have issues with Super Nintendo games. This one does seem to be running a little bit slow at skipping frames, you can tell. You can tell just by the rate of fire coming from the gun, it keeps speeding up and slowing down. Okay, so it looks like Super Nintendo is the typical affair, not running that well. No problem, let's take a look at Mega Drive. It's been a very long time since I played this one. Yep, seems Mega Drive's working pretty well. Usually does though. Never usually a problem with Mega Drive stuff. Okay, let's see if we can change the Mega Drive game. Tiny Toon 3. It's a hacked game, a Chinese original. Alright, let's give it a run. Yeah, it's working perfectly fine. Nice and smooth, as you can clearly see. Not a great game though. Alright, let's move on to something else. Now obviously this thing is going to play all the other stuff perfectly. Game Boy Advance, Game Boy and all that. But I'm wondering about the arcade stuff, so let's take a look at that. How well it's going to run the arcade ROMs. Gotta go the girl, always gotta go the girl. Not bad. Okay, let's check out some more arcade games. Here's a classic. It's good old Snow Brothers. This one seems to be working just fine as well. As to be expected, really. Alright, next arcade game. Okay, this one is set to play in tate mode, or vertical mode, or tape mode, as people keep calling it.
Air Garrett blows your socks off.
Blows your socks off. It's quite loud as well. Okay, well, I wonder if I can actually play it in tate mode. I have to change the camera angle here. Okay, well the D-pad's working, but the problem is the fire button's up here somewhere. So the D-pad is orientated correctly, but the fire button's not. That's kind of awkward actually. Alright, next game. Here's a pretty cool one, don't normally see on these collections. This is PC Kid, the arcade version. Can't say I've ever played this one actually. Yeah, and as to be expected, works just fine. Okay, so it looks like it plays CPS1 games, CPS2 games, Neo Geo games, and a few other arcade boards as well. Pretty well, no problems there. I mean, if people are willing to spend big cash on a horrible looking joystick to play a few Capcom ROMs, then they can't really complain when they can play the games at the same quality on this device. For like a fraction of the price, well, unless you want to go with the whole legitimacy of this device with built-in ROMs. Okay, so I'm not going to show things like Game Boy and Master System, NES and PC Engine and all that, because they will work. They always work, and they always work perfectly. So there's no point in showing them. Just take my word for it. Now this also comes with a few built-in games as well, which are basically either homebrew Chinese games or PC games which are ported to Linux and then ported over to this format, such as Quake 2 here. And as you can see from the rolling demo, Quake 2 runs very, very well. Look at that. That's not bad at all, is it? Yeah, it's slowing down a little bit, but you know, still perfectly playable. And what better way to test out the sound quality of this device with the stereo speakers than to run good old Streets of Rage remake. Let's get the machine next to the stereo mic so you can hear that beautiful stereo sound. Okay, so here we go. Let's get the song going where we can really hear the stereo coming through. So as you can hear, it's not bad, is it? Okay, so I was going to show this working on the TV, but it doesn't work. This machine can't actually do TV out. Yeah, even though it comes with a video cable, it doesn't do TV out, only audio. And then I thought to myself, well, maybe the options aren't set up properly inside the machine. So I took a look at the options, and there are no TV options on this device. So then I take another look at the back of the machine right here. And as you can see, it only has a headphone socket diagram. So yeah, this machine cannot do TV out. That's a bit of a shame. So why did he give you this cable? Oh well. Okay, so there we have it. That is the landscape version of the LDK. It's a shame it doesn't do TV out, even though they give us a cable to do that, but never mind. As a handheld gaming device, I do like it. I think it's well worth the money. It plays all the 8-bits, all the 16-bits, apart from Super Nintendo. It plays quite a few arcade games as well. All very well done. It feels comfortable in the hand, and the build quality is good. The battery life on it, well, I've had around about 5 hours out of this one before charging it back up. In fact, this is still on its original charge, and it's been on, well, practically no battery life for the last half hour or so, and it's still going. So yeah, about 5 hours battery life on it. Anyway, it's reasonably priced, so I'll put a link in the video description down below if you want to pick one of these up. Until next time guys, have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you before the new year with another hardware review. This time something for the Sega Saturn. Oh yeah. Goodbye.